Well, Vig, this guy needs no introduction. Our captain, Derek Jeter, is not here for this interview, but we're going to talk about him a little bit.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about his
Jeter.
2000 Jeter. His, if you ever hear if you're at the stadium walking the halls and you hear that bellowing behind you, turn around. You might see Fitz and Vig screaming for Jeter, and that could be next year or it could be 12 years from now. We're still going to be doing it.
And there's a palpable sense of sarcasm as we scream it.
More than palpable. It is a sarcastic line, period. There's no doubt. But with that being said, our boy, 2011 captain, shortstop of the New York Yankees, Derek Jeter, elected to the All-Star game, did not go to the All-Star game. Derek Jeter had a bounce back year. You know what? Had a rough year last year. We brought him back, paid him some big money.
17 mil per year.
17 per mil for a guy who is had been trending
over
that about
3 years and then
3 option.
Option for the 4th.
But you know what? Ended the season around 290. Very respectable. For a shortstop, you're not going to sniff your nose at 290. Had a couple hits in the playoffs for us, not enough, obviously.
Hit 250.
And played a pretty solid defense. So far as I'm concerned, hey, good bounce back year for Jeter. Thanks for giving us the ride, and you know what? Enjoy that $17 million.
I might disagree with almost everything you just said.
Okay.
As far as his respectable year.
All right.
Had a couple big hits in the playoffs. I remember one.
I remember
one. It was
one.
a pretty decent defensive year. He did.
He'll probably win the Gold Glove this year.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, he had a good defensive year. No.
I'm just looking back at the stats.
And I say, so we are. So I'm MCR rated. I say bounce back year. I say bounce back because I'm not going to hate on the guy. Absolutely, he got his batting average up. He got on base. He got his on base percentage over 35%. So he got on base as leadoff hitter. That's what you're looking for. Did he steal bases? No.
No.
Did he play a strong defensive shortstop? No.
Gold Glove.
Did he play a strong defensive shortstop? What's his UZR rating? Is it negative?
I don't know if it's negative, but
just meaning, is he under average?
No, I mean I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's going to be under negative or going to be negative.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's very high.
And for me, he had the lightest flare hitting 290 that I may have ever seen. He was hitting, 240 to 260 right before the All-Star break. He was kind of bouncing between 240 and 260. After the All-Star break, he took a couple weeks off because of an injury.
Got injured or something with his calf. Yep.
Came back strong, but came back strong to the tune of no power, all singles, and certainly not run driving in type situation.
And that's what we're going to see, I think, from Jeter going forward. A lot of those, slap hits.
But there used to be some opportune slap hits.
Right. Someone would find the gap.
2 outs, first and third, second, third, 1 out, get that runner in. But he just seemed to be, again, over 100 strikeout guy. Again, he does that a lot.
That's a lot of strikeouts.
Just not productive 290.
It's hard to look at, every at-bat the way you are, and I'm talking about that right now. I do remember in the playoffs him having a bases loaded at bat where he did not get a hit.
Nope. Game 5, where he swung at the first pitch when Gardner steals second base.
Gardner's trying to steal base. I liked the way, he would bat leadoff. I was very high on Gardner batting leadoff. I really was.
Yes,
but when Jeter came on in the second half, I was happy to see.
Slumped.
Yeah, Gardner slumped. His average went from 290 back down to 260. When Jeter's went from 260 up to 290,
Yep.
I was happy to see Jeter at leadoff and Gardner at ninth.
Were you really? Not having the stolen base threat?
Well, here's why. Because I was trusting that Gardner would get on base enough and then almost like have that second leadoff hitter, or second leadoff batter, batting ninth, where he would get up. And I just found in the second half of the season, whenever Gardner got on first base and Jeter got up, Gardner just wasn't stealing. I don't know if that was a respect for the captain, bad move by him, but I just wasn't seeing Gardner steal the bases when Jeter was up behind him.
Could have been wearing down.
Could have been wearing down, and we didn't see it in the playoffs at all.
He wears that thumb brace, he just could have been beat up.
A few things, but either way, I wasn't happy to see, Jeter not to have more RBI chances, because when he ended the season with like 6 RBIs, he would have had more if Gardner was on second after a single or a walk, and slapped that, ball to right field.
So I don't blame Gardner for anything related to my not liking Jeter, as far as not liking Jeter, but Jeter's underwhelming 295 performance. I absolutely give Jeter credit where credit is due. He had some monster hits throughout the years. Those monster hits have become few and far between the last 5 years. I've never seen a less impactful 295. The whole first season was just a throwaway. Ends up with the season with 60-something RBIs after hitting 290-something. That means that your at-bats are not resulting in impact hits.
I mean, I'll agree with that. They're not. I mean, as a leadoff hitter, I don't know what I expect him. For the Yankees, all I want him to do is get on base.
No, what I'm saying is the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Yankees are getting on base.
They are, but
more than for the Royals or league average. More than league
average. It was still so. I still want Jeter just to have that 350 plus on base percentage. I'd love to see it be closer to 400, to be honest, and let the big boppers, let the Grandersons and Canoes of the world drive him in. Being that Texan A-Rod have decided not to drive in runs anymore. So I'd like to see that. So
you think they decided not to drive in runs?
Well, whether they've decided or not, they aren't. So hopefully 2012 brings us some differences. But you know what? If you ask me right now if I could sign up for a week hitting 295 from Jeter next season, I'll take it in a second.
Okay, fair enough.